Hey, sorry for no live stream today. Turns out I was super busy with personal stuff. Also, look at this little guy. What are you doing? You're twisting and turning. You're trying to get out of my arms. I see you. I mean, if you've read the title, then you've heard the segment with this one, honestly. The Democrats have been trying to, some Democrats, not all of them, have been trying to exploit the fact that the Republican Party is a pedophile party headed by an associate of Epstein, who fanned the flames of Epstein conspiracy for years and years and is now regretting it because now that they're in government, it's really difficult for the Republican administration to admit the fact that the whole thing was just a bait to get conspiracists on their side. In reality, they're not going to release anything because if they did, it would implicate, among other people, Donald Trump. Ro Khanna introduced an amendment to the House Rules Committee in an attempt to bring to the floor a vote on an amendment to release the Epstein files. Here's the amendment. It's pretty short. The Attorney General shall retain, preserve, and compile any records or evidence related to any investigation, prosecution, or incarceration of Jeffrey Epstein. Not later than 30 days after the date of the enactment of this act, the Attorney General shall release and publish any records or evidence related to any investigation, prosecution, or incarceration of Jeffrey Epstein on a publicly accessible website. Democrats really need to commit to this bit here. I really wish it wasn't, because like Ro Khanna's doing good here, okay? I really wish more Democrats were willing to commit to this. It's such an obvious weak spot to the Republicans. Like it's bad enough that there's actual internal division over it. I mean, Christ, look at this. Oh, wrong one. Well, we'll get to that. Look at this.
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, you know, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden, you know, we went through years of that with the Russia.
He's literally asking his base to go from 6 consecutive years of nonstop Epstein posting to the whole thing was made up by Obama. Obama made it up, you know, ignore the mountains of evidence. Just trust me, dog. And there are Republicans, for many of them, like, especially the people whose job it is to be Republicans, right? They're commentators, they're influencers. They will never, ever, ever shift on this, right? Because this is all a game to them. They don't actually care. If pedophilia was a deal breaker for them, they wouldn't have supported Trump to begin with. I mean, you know, Charlie Kirk, who has been aggressively fanning the flames for years now.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to
trust my friends in government. Listen, okay, just trust them. It's pretty bad. It's pretty transparent. Oh, another bit of cope that I'm seeing on this one specifically, which is why I have Tim Pool tweets up, is that Ro Khanna attempting to get the Epstein files released is actually Democrats being pro-pedophilia. See, because the Epstein files must contain child sexual abuse material. Yeah. So by trying to investigate Epstein, doesn't that make you the pedophile? No, seriously, that's what he's going with. How could the DOJ publish videos of child rape? Khanna calls for all evidence be published. Absolutely insane. Democrats voted to have the U.S. government publish child porn. What the f is even going on anymore? His fans aren't really buying it either. But, you know, it doesn't matter. It's just a game to them. Yeah, of course, the amendment failed because of Republicans. One Republican did join the Democrats in voting yes, which is nice. But, yeah, no sell there. Ro Khanna says he's going to keep it up. I encourage him to do so. I see no reason. If Donald Trump can keep whining about the laptop from hell, Russia, 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 then the fact that the president of the United States of America is like deeply tied to a child sex trafficking ring seems to me like something like an ongoing and active cover-up. It seems to me like something you should be able to talk about pretty much forever, in my opinion. You know, it's just my opinion. Seems like a big deal that the government is completely compromised by Epstein and capitalized on made-up conspiracism for years and years, only to then, you know, do a heel turn. It was pointed out to me while I was streaming the other day that Donald Trump himself hasn't really engaged in that conspiracism, and it's true. To my memory, it's just people around Donald Trump have been fueling the flames, and Trump himself has mostly been quiet, except for that one time he offered like well wishes to Ghislaine Maxwell or whatever. So it must be frustrating for Trump. I don't know if he's had any like behind the scenes conversations like, guys, shut up. Guys, come on, stop bringing attention to this. And nobody listened, and now it's finally reached a point where it's like a problem.
Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through, we've gone through years of it. but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
Pam Bondi was also doing the "we can't release the files because it's all child sexual abuse material" nonsense. Obviously, it is possible for the government to release material in a way that doesn't post child sexual abuse material. Like, it's a ridiculous accusation. Like, the idea that any amendment which would force the publication of such material would require it to be published, like, in its form, you know? Absolutely nonsensical, you know, to never, you can never actually publish any evidence of any crime ever because the evidence might contain bad material in it. Ridiculous, you know. You can format it into lists, you can censor as needed, you can just black out like entire sections or just have descriptions of what takes place in the materials. But yeah, no, that's not the reason they're not revealing anything. Also, kind of a side note, but for some reason, Stephen King, who's always been pretty sussy, decided to, despite like being a very aggressive anti-Trump guy on the timeline, like very much a libbed up, you know, Trump hater, for some reason deciding to implicate himself. The Epstein client list is real, so is the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. I can't think of a single time that Stephen King has ever gone out there and aligned with the president on this. I have no idea why he would do this. Like, I understand, like, the implication to him doing this. What is Biden doing down there? Okay, his head bobbing was making me nervous. Sorry. It was arousing me. My apologies. Like, the obvious implication here is that Stephen King is compromised in the Epstein files, which he almost certainly is, or maybe friends of his are, but I have no idea why he would feel compelled to post this. I feel like everyone has their own strategy, right? Alan Dershowitz, who's implicated, you know, Epstein's lawyer, pedophile himself, was saying the reason the files aren't released isn't because he's on them, but because, like, powerful people are on them, and he knows who those powerful people are, but he's bound to silence. So, I don't know. It's a shit show. Maybe the Epstein files burned in a dumpster like a long, long time ago. Who the f knows? The desperate scrambling of the administration to try to, like, get all of their conspiracy supporters to backtrack. It's pretty funny. It's a pretty funny bit. I don't know, man. It's stupid, right? It kind of feels like the Al Capone taxes thing, where like the government is destroying the country in so many ways. We've all known that Trump is a Epstein associate for like decades. It's not a secret. It's never been a secret. It feels so stupid that, you know, you can destroy the Department of Education, you can destroy USAID, you can destroy the NOAA, you can destroy everything about this country. You can unwind its infrastructure, you can make it vulnerable in the future to all kinds of damage. You can ruin it, really. You can build concentration camps, you can torture people, you can send them to foreign countries they've never even been in without due process. But like, none of that shakes the Republicans' base, not even a little bit. They're all okay with all of that. All of that is fine. It's actually the goal. But the thing that was public knowledge for decades, Trump's association with Epstein, that's the one that's getting the administration a little panicky. Like, okay, whatever. Stupid country, stupid world. I don't know.